Hey parents, welcome to our waiver meeting. We're having a virtual option this time because a lot of you were unable to attend the scheduled date, and a lot of you just got your child's placement classes, so we wanted to give you a chance to actually think about what you want to do. So what does it mean to waive into a class? It just means that you are wanting to challenge your student into a higher level than what they were recommended for. And the recommendations typically in the high school are based on their previous classes and their teachers. For the middle schools, they use test scores and grades and classes to decide what courses your child's going to be recommended for. So this is just a chance for you to go against the recommendation and challenge them to move into a higher level class. Now, typically you're in a person face-to-face meeting, right? I'm going to redo that. Typically you're in a face-to-face meeting and you can whip out your cell phone and scan this code, but it's going to be kind of hard when you're watching it on your cell phone. So the link is going to be attached in the email that this presentation came in. And so if you'll click the link, it will take you to this form right here. This is the waiver form. You're going to put the student's email, their last name, first name, and their ID number. Please mark what grade level they're going to be in next year and what house does the student belong to. If you're a rising freshman, you'll be in house 5. But if you are a current student at Blythewood, you will pick one of the houses. If you're unsure, please just ask your child. You're going to fill out the recommended course. What were they recommended for, and what would you like them to take? If you have multiple courses that you're trying to waive into, please fill out this form multiple times. The most important part of this form is this statement right here. Okay, so please take time to read it. If you don't understand or if you have questions about what it's saying, please feel free to contact me. I have all the contact information at the end of this video. It says, I understand that my student was not recommended for the course that is being requested and may need extra assistance. It is the responsibility of my student to seek extra help when needed. If my student decides to drop the requested course at any point, the student may only level down to a different level if their schedule permits and if there is room in the class requested. This is the kicker. In addition, the student will receive a WF, which is equivalent to a 50, which will be calculated in their overall GPA, and that calculates a 0.0 in their GPA. So when you are waiving into a class, you are waiving your right to drop the class or to level down if something goes on. So you are saying that you understand that the kid, your student, might need extra help, and they've got to be the ones to go seek that extra help. And at Blythewood, we have a lot of help that is given. So there should be plenty of opportunities. But when you jump into a class that you were not recommended for, you waive your right to drop the class and you waive your right to level down. So that's just a really important thing to understand, that you are basically committing your student to this course no matter what. And we just want you to know that going into it. So when you check that box, you're saying you understand that you cannot drop the class without a pretty severe penalty to your GPA. And the final thing is your contact information. So your name, email, and a phone number that we could call you if we had a question. The process is that you attend this meeting, which you're watching the video, and I want you to have that waiver form filled out by May 12th. So that way we can have time to go through it, make the appropriate changes, and then get the schedule made so that way students know what they're taking. It's a big, long process. At Blythewood, we want all students to be successful. And we know that honors classes are a lot more challenging and demanding. And so we want students who are recommended for CP to be ready to take those honors classes. And so some of the expectations, if you're waiving into a class, are going to be that your student needs to know that they're going to have to be organized and use their time more effectively than they would in a CP class. They're going to have to ask questions and seek help. And the great thing about Blythewood is we have a longer lunch, which allows students the opportunity to talk with their teachers and tutor with their teachers during lunch, because not everybody can stay after school or come early. You're going to have to, your student will have to stay on task. We can't get behind. I can't tell you the number of students that get so far behind in a class that it just becomes an impossible task to play catch up. And it's really important for your student to participate. You can't sit in the back of a class and not engage with the material and expect to do well. So if you're waiving your student into an honors class, it's important that they know these things. It's important that they work harder than they would have otherwise been working. So this is more for freshmen. So if you want to skip over the next couple minutes to the next part of the video, you can, but there are several classes that a freshman can take. So if you are a freshman parent looking to waive your child into a higher level class, I wanted to at least show you what options were out there. So in the math realm, there's foundations and intermediate. So your child may have been recommended for foundations. The class that you would waive your child into would be algebra. Okay. If you were recommended for Algebra 1, you really have to take Algebra 1 because that's a prerequisite course for geometry and Algebra 2. So it's a necessary course that you have to take. If you were recommended for Geometry CP, you would obviously choose Geometry Honors, Algebra 2 Honors. For science, freshmen are either recommended to take Earth Science or Biology 1 Honors. Okay, those are your options. For social studies, most students are going to be recommended for human geography, but if you want to waive your child into an honors class, you can. I wouldn't recommend waiving a child from CP to AP. Just in case you didn't know, AP is a college level course, and at the end of the year in May, they can take a test to see if they would be awarded college credit. So AP Human Geography is definitely a college level course, and not every freshman is ready for that. For English, you're either going to be recommended for English 1 honors, or 2 honors typically, and you can't take 2 honors until you've taken 1. So if you're taking 2, more than likely you were taking English 1 in the 8th grade. But if you want to waive your child into the honors class, again, you just fill out the form and just know that it's going to be a lot more intense with the reading and writing than English 1 would have been. I'm a math teacher, so I can't answer all of those questions, but the great thing is that there are people that you can contact. And so I don't even think I introduced myself. My name is Rusty Curry, and I am the lead teacher of House 3. And so I am basically a hybrid teacher administrator, and I get to work with the admin team as well as teachers, as well as my own classes. And it's a nice bridge between the two worlds. We have 5 lead teachers at our high school. Dr. Reed, Mrs. Rowland, Mr. Simpson, and Mrs. Moore are the other lead teachers. And if you have any questions about waiving into classes, we are all excellent resources. I would say if you're a freshman, you could speak to Dr. Reed, but you really could speak to any of us, and we're all available through email. If you'll email us, we can respond back via email, or if you give us a cell phone number, we can definitely give you a call. The assistant principal over instruction is Mrs. Colvin, another excellent resource. And then we have a wealth of counselors who are very great at their jobs. And I would encourage you that if you are currently a high school parent or student, please talk to your house counselor. And if you're a rising freshman and you're looking to talk to a counselor, I would choose one of the rising freshmen to do so. Again, just shoot them an email, and we will be quick to get back to you. But if you have any questions about the process, anybody on this screen is capable of answering your questions. And then this would typically be the time that our presentation is over, and we would then split up into different groups and answer specific questions. I will go back a slide. On the left side of the screen, you have 3 teachers who are actually math teachers. So Dr. Reed, myself, and Mrs. Moore, we all teach math classes. So if you have math specific questions, we would definitely be a great contact for you. Mrs. Rowland is an English teacher, and so if you have any questions about English, she would be able to answer that pretty well. And Mr. Simpson is a science teacher. So I don't know if you noticed, I didn't say any social studies. So if you have any social studies questions, again, you can contact me, rcurry@richland2.org. You can contact any of us or the counselors. We're all willing to help you out with this process. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to meeting your freshman child next year or seeing your students around the halls. Thank you for watching the video, and I look forward to talking to you.